Men are told from childhood that the path to a woman's heart is paved with kindness, politeness, and endless devotion. They are instructed to open doors, to write poetry, to offer gifts, to shower her with attention, and to always place her happiness above their own. Society whispers that love is pure, that if a man is gentle and honest, if he gives without expectation, eventually he will be rewarded with affection. This is the fairy tale, one that keeps countless men weak, obedient, and invisible. But let us step into the shadows of reality, the place Machiavelli himself studied so well. The world is not built on fairy tales, it is built on power. Power is not earned by kindness, it is taken through strength, cunning, and control. Machiavelli warned us that men who rely on morality alone are destroyed by those who wield deception. And in the arena of seduction, nothing could be more true. The illusion of niceness is one of the greatest traps a man can fall into. Consider what happens when a man showers a woman with constant attention. At first, she may smile, perhaps even thank him. But soon that attention becomes ordinary, it loses its weight. Just as gold loses its value when it is too abundant, so does affection lose its power when it is poured endlessly without restraint. A man who gives everything becomes predictable, and predictability breeds boredom. And boredom, my friend, is the death of desire. Machiavelli taught that a prince must learn not only how to be good, but how not to be good when necessity demands it. This is the essence of power. Likewise, in seduction, the man who believes that endless kindness will win the heart of a woman is blind to the cruel mechanics of desire. Women, like kingdoms, are not conquered by gifts, they are conquered by mystery, tension, and calculated displays of strength. Niceness is not only weak, it is transparent. When a man is overly kind, a woman senses his motive immediately. She knows he craves her approval, her attention, her validation. And once she knows this, she holds power over him. She can decide when to reward him, when to ignore him, when to withhold her affection to make him chase even harder. The man who thinks he is winning her heart with kindness is in truth only placing chains around his own neck, chains she can tighten whenever she wishes. Ask yourself, why is it that the men women most desire are rarely the ones who are the nicest? Why do women chase after men who are distant, cold, sometimes even cruel? The answer is simple. Desire is not born from safety, it is born from uncertainty. When a man is too nice, he removes all uncertainty. She knows exactly where he stands. She knows he will always be available, always waiting, always ready to forgive. And in that certainty, attraction withers. Machiavelli observed that men are driven more by fear of losing something than by gratitude for what they already have. This truth applies to seduction as much as to politics. A woman does not burn with desire for the man who is always there. She burns for the man whose attention she could lose, the man whose validation she must fight to earn. Niceness provides no fear of loss, no struggle, no chase. It is too easy, and what is too easy is never truly valued. Let us imagine two men. The first is the nice man. He is polite, gentle, always complimenting, always available. He tells her she is beautiful. He answers her calls immediately. He rearranges his life to please her. In her eyes, he becomes dependable, safe yet also invisible. He has given her no challenge, no mystery, nothing to awaken the primal fire of her desire. The second man, however, understands Machiavelli. He gives kindness sparingly, not as a constant stream but as a rare jewel. He withholds more than he reveals. He compliments her only when it serves a purpose, and he disappears when she expects his presence. She cannot predict him, she cannot control him, and because she cannot control him, she thinks of him endlessly. Her mind is consumed by the question, what does he really feel? Why is he not chasing me like the others? This uncertainty ignites her obsession. The difference between these two men is not luck, nor is it fate. It is strategy. The nice man is enslaved by the illusion that kindness alone is attractive. The Machiavellian man understands that kindness, when given without restraint, loses all power. To seduce, one must master the art of scarcity, the art of tension, the art of making desire burn through absence more than presence. Kindness, when used like a blade, can cut deeply. But when used like water, poured endlessly without shape or form, it drowns both the giver and the receiver. Women do not fall for those who beg for their affection. They fall for those who command it. They do not chase the man who offers his heart freely. They chase the man who guards his heart like a fortress, granting access only to those who prove themselves worthy. Machiavelli would remind us it is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both. And in seduction, to be desired is not to be endlessly kind. It is to be powerful, unpredictable, and scarce. The illusion of niceness blinds men to this truth. It makes them servants instead of masters, beggars instead of conquerors. Would you like me to expand Keynote 2 the same way? Around 700 plus words in this same Machiavellian narration tone? Or should I first finish all expansions one by one after you approve this style? If you wish to seduce, abandon the illusions of romance that the poets and preachers have fed you. Seduction is not the union of two souls. It is the battle of two wills. And in this battle, the stronger does not ask for affection, he commands it. Machiavelli, the great strategist of power, told us it is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. In seduction, the same law applies. It is better to be desired than adored, for desire gives you power, while adoration enslaves you. Consider the lover who is adored for his kindness, his reliability, his endless giving. At first he may seem to hold her attention, but soon she grows restless. There is no struggle, no mystery, no fire. His devotion becomes expected, his presence becomes ordinary. He has given away all leverage, and without leverage he is powerless. Contrast this with the lover who is desired. He does not bend, he does not beg, he does not make himself too available. He controls the rhythm of attention, the pace of affection. She does not know if she has truly won him. She does not know when he will appear or when he will vanish. And because of this uncertainty, she cannot stop thinking of him. This is the Machiavellian strategy to shape perception, to rule not through emotion but through control. You must never present yourself as a harmless admirer. To her you must appear as a figure both desirable and untouchable. Like a prince cloaked in mystery, you must make her feel that your affection is a prize, not a guarantee. Seduction is not about honesty, it is about performance. It is theater, and you are the actor who writes the script. Machiavelli wrote that men are simple creatures, easily deceived by appearances. Women, too, are no different. They are swayed not by truth, but by what seems powerful, rare, and unattainable. Do not show her your heart openly. Show her a mask, a carefully crafted illusion. When she believes she is slowly peeling back your layers, when she feels she is earning your trust, she becomes invested. The illusion becomes her prison and you, the jailer, hold the key. Understand that unpredictability is your greatest weapon. A man who is consistent in his affections loses his edge. Predictability is death. You must be like a storm, calm skies one day, thunder the next. A sudden withdrawal of attention after a night of passion. A quiet smile instead of a flood of compliments. A delay in response when she expects immediacy. Each act fuels her curiosity, her hunger, her obsession. She cannot predict you and therefore she cannot control you. Machiavelli believed the ruler must be both lion and fox. The lion uses strength, the fox uses cunning. In seduction you must embody both. Be strong in presence, commanding in the way you carry yourself, confident in every gesture. But also be cunning, using charm and deception to weave illusions. Do not reveal your intentions. Do not let her see desperation. Show only what strengthens your position, conceal what weakens it. Imagine a man who walks into her life as a storm. He does not plead for her affection, he makes her curious, uncertain, restless. When he speaks, his words are measured, never too many, never too eager. When he looks at her, his gaze lingers just long enough to spark fire, but not long enough to reveal surrender. He is there, yet not entirely hers. This is power. This is the Machiavellian lover. The key is control, always control. He controls when she sees him, when she hears from him, when she feels his warmth, and when she feels his cold distance. Each shift makes her chase, each withdrawal makes her crave. She invests her thoughts, her emotions, her energy into him. And the more she invests, the less she can walk away. This is not love, this is strategy. Niccolò understood that loyalty comes not from kindness but from necessity. A kingdom remains loyal to a ruler not because he is loved, but because they fear losing his protection. A woman clings to a man not because of his gifts, but because she fears losing the rare fire he ignites within her. This fear, this dependency, is the invisible chain that binds her. Do not confuse this with cruelty for its own sake. Cruelty without purpose destroys, but calculated control, carefully measured distance, deliberate unpredictability, these sharpen desire into a weapon. You do not give her constant satisfaction, you give her glimpses, flashes of paradise, and then you pull back. You make her work for your affection, and the harder she works, the more she values what little you give. This is why the Machiavellian strategy always triumphs over the illusion of niceness. Niceness is predictable, niceness is ordinary, niceness is powerless. But power, mystery, and control, these are irresistible. A woman may laugh at the nice man, she may use him, she may even forget him. But she will not forget the man who unsettled her, the man who stirred both fear and desire, the man who walked the line between presence and absence so perfectly that she could never truly grasp him. Would you like me to now expand keynote 30, the dirtiest method in the same way, 700 upwards Machiavellian narration? Or do you prefer me to complete all 4 keynotes first and then refine them into one long continuous script? Every man wishes to know the secret, the ultimate weapon in seduction. They search for the perfect words, the perfect gestures, the perfect charm that will unlock a woman's heart. But Machiavelli would laugh at such foolishness. For the greatest victories are never won through charm alone. They are won through control. And the dirtiest, most dangerous method of seduction is not romance, not flattery, not wealth. It is dependency. Dependency is the invisible chain that binds one soul to another. It is not forged with gold or silver, but with desire and fear. When a woman becomes dependent on you, her choices are no longer her own. She may resist, she may pretend to stand tall, but her heart betrays her. She cannot walk away, for she has been trapped, not by force, but by her own hunger for what only you can give. This is the art Machiavelli would admire: the power to create need, the mastery to make another person crave your presence as though it were air itself. How does one forge this dependency? Not by giving endlessly, but by controlling the flow of attention. Like a ruler who keeps his people both hopeful and fearful, you must feed her desire in small doses, then starve it just enough to make her restless. When she receives your attention, it must feel like a gift, rare and intoxicating. But when you withdraw it, she must feel the cold void of your absence. This cycle, reward and withdrawal, presence and disappearance, is what transforms ordinary attraction into obsession. Imagine the man who showers a woman with constant attention. He tells her she is beautiful every day. He answers every message instantly. He makes himself always available. Does she become dependent on him? No, she grows used to him. His affection becomes a background noise, always there, never scarce. There is no fear of losing him and therefore no urgency to value him. He becomes an option, not a necessity. Now imagine the man who understands Machiavelli. He gives, but not always. He praises her, but sparingly. He disappears just when she expects him most. He is unpredictable, and in that unpredictability lies his power. When he is near, she feels warmth, validation, and the thrill of being seen. When he withdraws, she feels empty, restless, and uncertain. Her mind races, wondering what she has done, wondering how to bring him back. Without realizing it, she becomes addicted, not to him entirely, but to the roller coaster of emotions he creates. This is the dirtiest method: to become the supplier of her emotional highs and lows, to turn yourself into the drug she cannot quit. Every taste of your attention floods her with ecstasy, every absence leaves her starving. And like the addict who cannot walk away from the substance that destroys them, she cannot walk away from you. Machiavelli knew that rulers kept their power not only by offering protection, but also by keeping their people in a state of dependency. If they could not survive without him, they would never rebel. The same principle applies in seduction. If she feels she cannot thrive without your attention, if she begins to tie her sense of worth to your approval, then she is conquered. She may believe she has chosen you, but in truth, she has no choice at all. This method is dirty because it requires cruelty wrapped in charm. You must be willing to withhold as much as you give. You must resist the urge to surrender fully. When she pleads for reassurance, you must offer silence. When she expects comfort, you must give her distance. When she craves stability, you must remind her that you are never fully hers. This tension is painful, but it is the very fuel of her desire. Understand that true seduction is not about satisfying every need she expresses. It is about awakening needs she did not know she had, and then making yourself the only one who can fulfill them. A woman may find many men who are nice, many men who are available, many men who are willing to give without limit, but she will not remember them. She will remember the one man who made her heart race, who made her question herself, who made her feel that losing him would be unbearable. That man becomes unforgettable even if he offers less in reality. Dependency does not grow in comfort, it grows in imbalance. She must always feel she is chasing something just out of reach. She must feel that your affection is never guaranteed. The more she invests in trying to secure you, the deeper she falls into the trap. For the human mind values most what it works hardest to attain, and once she has invested her time, her energy, her emotions, she cannot simply walk away. To leave you would mean admitting her efforts were wasted. And so she stays, bound by chains she forged herself. The dirtiest method of seduction is not about conquest in a single moment. It is about planting seeds of obsession, feeding them carefully, and watching as they grow into vines that wrap tightly around her. You give her glimpses of paradise, then cast her into doubt. You make her laugh, then make her cry. You offer her security, then tear it away. And through this dance of pleasure and pain, she becomes addicted, not to who you are, but to what you make her feel. Would you like me to move directly to keynote for you the lesson and expand it the same way into 700 plus words, so you'll have the complete long-form script ready in one flow? At last, we arrive at the lesson that ties everything together. For what is seduction, if not a mirror of politics? And what is politics, if not the art of power? Niccolò Machiavelli, in his wisdom, never concerned himself with morality, with what ought to be. He dealt with what is. He saw the world not through the illusions of poets or priests, but through the hard lens of reality. And in reality, love is not the foundation of power. Control is. Seduction, stripped bare, is not about flowers, promises, or honesty. It is about perception, manipulation, and the skillful management of human weakness. The Machiavellian lesson is this: Power in seduction does not belong to the one who feels the most, but to the one who controls what is felt. If you are swept away by your own emotions, if you beg for love, if you expose your heart too soon, then you are already conquered. The true seducer never allows himself to be carried by the storm. He is the storm. He controls its direction, its intensity, and its impact. She is the one caught in its chaos, not him. Consider the difference between the ordinary man and the Machiavellian man. The ordinary man approaches a woman with hope in his eyes. He dreams of winning her affection through honesty, through loyalty, through unguarded devotion. He lays his heart before her like a peasant offering fruit to a queen. But what does the queen do when fruit is abundant? She grows indifferent. She knows that she does not need to value it because it will always be there. His honesty becomes weakness, his loyalty becomes predictable, his devotion becomes suffocating. The Machiavellian man, however, never offers everything at once. He offers fragments, glimpses, mysteries. He allows her to taste just enough to awaken hunger, but never enough to satisfy it. She leans in, hoping to know him, hoping to grasp him fully, but he slips away like smoke in her fingers. In this dance, she invests more than he does. She becomes the seeker, he remains the prize. This is the reversal of power that defines true seduction. Machiavelli wrote that appearances matter more than truth. People will judge not by what is, but by what seems to be. The same applies here. The successful seducer does not need to be wealthy, or handsome, or flawless. He needs only to create the appearance of rarity, strength, and mystery. If she believes he is valuable, he becomes valuable in her eyes. If she believes he is rare, she will guard him as treasure. The truth is irrelevant. Perception is everything. The lesson is also one of scarcity. That which is abundant loses value. That which is scarce becomes priceless. Too many men give themselves away too quickly. Every thought, every secret, every affection poured out like water on sand. And then they wonder why the woman grows cold, why her desire fades. They fail because they do not understand the law of scarcity. If you wish to be desired, you must not be always available. You must not be always predictable. You must not be always kind. You must be the rare flame in the darkness, the one she cannot find elsewhere. But Machiavelli also warns us of balance. A ruler who is only cruel will be hated. A lover who is only distant will be forgotten. The art lies in mixing tenderness with coldness, affection with absence, kindness with cruelty. Too much of one destroys the illusion. The power is found in contrast. A single moment of genuine warmth after long stretches of distance can feel like paradise. A single touch after weeks of restraint can feel like fire. These contrasts amplify desire far more than constant availability ever could. The Machiavellian lesson is not to seek love, but to command it. Not to offer devotion, but to inspire it. Not to follow her, but to lead her mind where you wish it to go. The man who masters this understands that seduction is not a fair game, but a battlefield. And on this battlefield, the victor is not the one with the purest heart, but the one with the sharpest mind. Think of the great rulers in history. They were not remembered for their kindness, but for their power. They left marks on the world because they understood how to manipulate perception, how to maintain control, how to appear invincible even when they were not. The same principles apply here. She will not remember the man who was kind to her every day. She will not remember the man who gave without restraint. She will remember the man who unsettled her, who made her feel alive, who stirred emotions she could not tame. This is the essence of the Machiavellian lesson. Seduction is warfare disguised as romance. You must master illusion, control perception, create scarcity, and cultivate unpredictability. You must be lion and fox, feared and desired, warm and cold, giver and taker. And above all, you must understand that emotions are not chains around your neck, but weapons in your hand. Use them carefully, wield them ruthlessly, and you will discover that in the game of seduction, as in the game of power, only the cunning survive.